Let's get that live chat going. See who we got. If I can share this. That's ridiculous. Share. Just there we go. Hey Richie, my internet just went out. So I don't fucking know, man. It's always gotta be something. Oh man. I'm wiped up. I need to shave too. I look so damn grungy. Who do we got, man? Give me a roll call. Let me see all the people here. Internet's being culo for sure, dude. Yeah, it's weird. I thought it was my computer and then it kicked me off of Elden Ring. Which is whatever, I guess. But yeah, man, I'm this is the best I've felt in weeks, if you could believe that, man. So come on. No. Oh my fucking god. Anyways. So I kind of want to wait for everybody to kind of get back, pick up where I left off. Dude. How do I sound? Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. So, anyways, yeah, the internet's not working over there.
Do you know why?
I don't know. Maybe because you didn't pay it.
They didn't pay it. Got it. Okay.
Maybe because y'all's room ain't clean.
It just told me to tell you.
I know. It's not working.
What happened to that thing?
Biden.
Okay.
Ching. I don't know. So anyhow, so yeah, let me show y'all. Right. Will it go? Okay, cool. So my old computer's down here. I got it rigged up. So I'm gonna start pulling stuff from there and putting it on here since I don't have my setup. Eden, go away, dude. Eden, go. I'm grouchy and tired, boy. So this is the computer. This is obviously a lot better to see it, right? This is the new rig. It's a 3060 Ti. It's an Ryzen 9 7900 series, so I mean it's just underneath the 7950. You don't get much better than that. And I was trying to re-up everything down here. It was kind of a pain because the thing is, this guy, I didn't realize how big it was. I don't got an issue with it, but the thing is, it has a bigger footprint than this one. Obviously, I didn't think it was going to be the case, but it's bigger. It's clearly fucking bigger than that one. So I decided, to build a riser. So I built this thing, right? And I put it up here, but then I ended up having to, and I still have issues with it where I need to make sure that all the connections will go. But I got the new Elgato capture card in there, right? And then I had to buy these 15-foot 4K HDMI. Bigger isn't always better. Bigger is not always better. Trust me. Especially if you have kids. So, anyways, I had to redo this. There's an outage, hon? I thought so. I was going to mess with the thing, but I figured, no, I know it's starting to get kind of windy. So. So anyways, I did all this. I also did this, you guys. I'm actually really proud of it. Right. It might not be the best, right? But I mean, it's definitely a lot better than what it was. It also kind of gives more kind of attraction to the closet now because I got a magazine rack in here. I got a whole bunch of Game Informer magazines, magazines I've had since fucking, high school. For example, here, check it out. This is a classic right here. This is a classic. We got Metroid Prime 2. We got when they're originally doing the DS, Twilight Princess before they ever gave it a name. All that stuff. There's some Halo 2 shit in here. I think got some siphon filter. Let's see, we got issues 133, 134, 120, 135, 118. Look at that. Midnight Club 2. Fear Effect Inferno. They ain't gonna give credit for the outage, dude. If they do, it's gonna be like $1. It doesn't matter. Oh, look, Killer 7. Cool. By the way, you guys, I just said this in, I did just say this in, give me a second, in Discord, but today is the 3rd birthday of my Siren review. 3 years to the day I uploaded it. Excuse me. But anyways, this is another thing I was working on. Because again, eventually I'm going to want to do the game room tour. And I really want to kind of use as much of the space as possible. I made it a little bit more decent in here. Definitely a big improvement of what it used to be. Because it just like everything threw up in here. Some Super Nintendos, PS2s, PS1s, my Marvel vs. Capcom CPS2, A and B board, a GameCube, PlayStation, hell, and the tried and true Elgato, you guys. This is the guy that I was using for the longest time since either 2015 or 2016. This was the guy. I'm thinking 2016, if I'm going to be honest. I could be wrong, though. But, yeah. Elgato. This was it before I ended up finally upgrading to this guy. So, but, yeah. So, anyhow, that's the whole deal with that. So like I said, I was busy with that. I was busy with this. Because the thing is, I wanted to get all this situated before I got the all the systems set up. And you guys already know about the test smart control box. So everything's hooked up. But I couldn't really do wire management properly, and I wouldn't be able to get it working until this computer was good to go. And then once I got it, I had to open it up and install this guy, which was a pain in the ass because this was in the fucking way. So, and then still I had to fiddle with it for a little while earlier before I was even able to get a picture. So, but that's kind of what the deal is. That's what's been going on. Kind of going back to it, like I said, we were at the burial. That wiped me out, but we had bereavement. So I had a fever every day. If I ever, because my internet went out, as you can see, my internet went out. It's not going to be restored for 2 hours. So, yeah, Hollow. So nothing crazy. Basically just kind of, whoa, it's like TikTok. Hey, Mankind. What do you mean it's like TikTok? I've done this before. I've done this on my phone before, you guys. You guys act like I've never done this before. Typical Valley internet. Not really, no. Oh, whatever. Anyways, so like I said, I got sick on the 22nd, and I had a fever, and I was sick every day, every single day. I woke up with a fever. I had chills. So, um, after AJ's birthday, which was on Saturday, not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before, I ended up calling in the day of the following day on Sunday because there was no way I was going to be able to get there's no way I was going to be able to get vacation on short notice, especially on a Sunday. So I called in. I used my UIA, and I went to the doctor because I was getting scared. Every day I had a fever, and I was getting scared. So I told them. Um, I went to an urgent care facility. I told them what was going on. I told them my symptoms, and she said I probably have some sort of viral infection. They gave me a COVID test. They gave me a flu test. Negative, negative. I knew I was negative on COVID because I'm asymptomatic with COVID. Um, I was kind of hoping it was the flu because at least then I'd know what it was. Um, so then when they took me to when I went to the urgent care and they told me that it wasn't the flu. They told me it wasn't the flu. It wasn't COVID. So they said that what did they tell me? Basically, they gave me a 6-day treatment of and steroids and antibiotics. Antibiotics is for a bacterial infection, right? If it's something viral, but you don't have an antivirus for it or anything antiviral, the alternative to that, like, okay, Tylenol for fevers, right? Lowers your fever reducer, ibuprofen. Antibiotics is for anything bacterial related, amoxicillin, that kind of thing. For viruses, it's fucking steroids. And it wasn't like, needle in my ass steroids. It was just like a little tablet or whatever. And she says that should get you taken care of. It's going to be a 6-day treatment. You're going to take 6 steroids or 6 tablets the first day, 5 the second day, 4 the third day, so on and so forth, with one antibiotic along with that. I took the steroids, I took the antibiotics, and then all the while I was also taking some Tylenol and ibuprofen for, you know, what was it? To reduce my fever. To reduce my fever and to reduce my fever and to get rid of my fucking headache because it was terrible. Like I said, I was like this, dude. Like I couldn't hold my head straight. I could not hold my head straight. It was terrible. And because of the bereavement, I had time to sorry, force a habit. I had time to recover, right? Fortunately, silver lining. And what ended up happening was I did the entire 6-day treatment and there was no fucking changes, dude. I was expecting something. No changes. Like clockwork, dude. I would take medicine to get rid of the fever, and it would go away. It would go away. If I could say the steroids did anything, I want to say it didn't get rid of, but it definitely minimized the chills. I was still cold. I would still get like, I wouldn't say chills, but I still felt cold. I wasn't like chattering uncontrollably or anything, but I would have my socks and shoes on, but my toes were still cold. My fingers are still cold. Like my extremities are cold. I told Casey it's like when you're walking around outside barefoot and it's cold outside and you step in water and you're just kind of stuck like that. That's what it felt like, right? Is the garage still jam-packed? Yes, it is still jam-packed, by the way. It's pretty bad, but that's something that we're going to actually get taken care of. So, and another thing about that, too, during all this bullshit, our fucking water heater broke. I told y'all about that in Discord. For those of y'all who don't know, our water heater fucking broke. And for those of you who've been here forever, which is the vast majority of y'all, I don't know if y'all remember, I said it after another stream like 4 years ago, the previous water heater fucking broke. So this is the replacement, and this one broke. It ruptured, so we have no hot water, which is another thing because we haven't been able to take hot showers. So I know it sounds disgusting, but I haven't been taking a shower every day, especially with me coming off a fever, but me having chills. I didn't think it was a good idea to have a fucking cold shower. So it's been a bitch. It's been a bitch. I called the PA who prescribed me the steroids, and I said, "Hey, look, it hasn't done anything. The I still have I still have the fever. The chills aren't as bad, but I still get cold, especially when I have a fever, and I can't really interpret temperature very well. Casey felt cold when she never feels cold. I wanted to sit out in the sun because I felt cold, and even sitting out in the sun or sitting in a car with the windows rolled up and no AC on was barely enough to make me feel barely warm. I know it was hot in the car. Casey turned on the AC, and just a little bit of the AC was just too much for me to handle. It was too cold. So I called the PA, the physician's assistant that helped me, that prescribed me the treatment at boiled water and I've been thinking about just putting a damn tub outside and putting a fire next to it and being done with it. So I called the physician's assistant. I said, "Hey, look, the steroids aren't working. I still have the fever. I still have the fever every day, like clockwork. I don't have it when I take something to deal with it, but in the meantime, because that's the thing, right? Is you want to do something to get rid of the symptoms, so your body's under less stress. And if your body's under less stress, it's just less on you, and it's easier for you to recover, and your immune system just isn't, putting out that much energy. You know why you're always tired. You're fucking exhausted when you're sick because your body is literally using energy to combat, a foreign, what the fuck ever, right? So in those little stints where I didn't have the fever because I had, because I had Tylenol and stuff, fever reducers. When the fever reducers would wear off, and like clockwork, the fever would come back, right? Nah, fuck that, it's already. No, sir. Nope. So, when, and another thing too that sucked, man, I really hated it, it really sucked, was, I don't know if it was because my body temperature was so high, or what the deal is. I'm still dealing with this cough too. I don't know if it's because I'm metabolizing things faster than normal because of my body temperature being higher than normal. But the what is it? I had a real hard time sleeping. I would take Z-Quil normally to get some sleep. I'd be tired. I would be tired. But I would wake up at like, I would try to go to sleep at like 10, 11, maybe 12. I would wake up at like 3 or 4. And I could not go back to sleep. And my only saving grace is because that would happen on days I didn't have to work. But every day that got close to, today was my first day back to work. Every day that I got closer, I was terrified because I didn't know if I was going to have to deal with, just not being able to get enough sleep, right? So, I'm sorry, guys. I get a little swimmy in my head. Anyways, um, I had a real hard time sleeping. Even though I was tired, even though I was sleepy, I couldn't stay asleep. And it was hard to get comfortable. It was hard to lay in a position where I can fully relax because a lot of times I'd be cold. I would take the medicine in the middle of the night before I go to sleep. And for some reason, it would get rid of the chills, and then I'd be waking up and I'd be sweating. Like I'd be sweating. Like you'd feel sweat on my forehead. My shirt would be sweating. You know. Alrighty, Jared. I hear you, man. But um, I ended up calling the PA and said, "Hey, you know, the steroids haven't done anything for me. They haven't done nothing for me." I told Casey too. Like I told her, like I'm legit scared. Like I haven't been sick like this before, and it doesn't seem like nothing is going on. And when I went there the first time, I wanted them to do a blood test. I wanted them to do a workup to actually see what's going on. And the PA told me there was take 2 weeks for the results for the blood test to come back. And I was like, okay, which I thought was kind of weird because I don't see in any way, especially these days, how a blood test is gonna take 2 weeks to come back. You know, you do a fucking physical and you'll have your results in less than 5 days, and that's a blood test too. You know, so I don't understand why an urgent care facility. No, I wouldn't see how a urgent care facility, um, doesn't have the capability of being able to do a blood test in less than, um, 2 weeks. Not to mention, speaking of Prego, my sex drive was through. I didn't want to do nothing. I was not interested in doing nothing. I didn't want to see any naked girls. I thought it was going to be too much stimulation for me, and I would explode and throw up and die with 107 fever. Like I wanted to avoid all that shit. It actually kind of worried Casey. Because she didn't really say it, but I could kind of feel it out where she's I'm just it's not myself. Like she was thinking like he's not himself. He's not like himself. It's weird. It's weird that he's not how he normally is. In conjunction with that, um, I didn't have an appetite very much. I would try to eat, and there was a day or two where I wanted to eat, a good amount, but typically I wouldn't eat a whole lot. Um, I did end up losing 6 pounds overall, which I think is why my face looks skinnier than normal, especially compared to the rest of me, right? Um, I didn't really notice it until I saw myself on stream. I was like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, I guess doesn't look like a good weight loss though. It looks like a sickly, which I guess stands to reason, right? Ugh. Another thing is too, and I guess this is good. My resting heart rate right now is 64. When I was sick, I felt so high strung. My heart rate was at like 115. 115. We would be walking around the store and I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like I felt super just exhausted. And I had 115 heart rate. It was bad. That's what's been going on these last 2 weeks. Despite me having a lot of extra time to do stuff and me having the new computer and all that shit, I got sick out of nowhere. On that same Tuesday night, I had started cleaning out the closet here in the game room to get started on trying to organize it and make the magazine rack. Part of me thinks, and it's a big, big maybe, right? It's a big, big maybe. But part of me was entertaining the idea, hi Clifford, that I don't know, maybe there was some fucking germs in the closet or something. And maybe maybe there's some germs in the closet or something, and I couldn't, you know, maybe when I was getting all the wires and everything out, maybe I inhaled something, maybe I breathed something in. That same day for lunch, I went to Chick-fil-A and I ate, and a couple hours later is when I started feeling sick. So I don't know, I don't know. And the weirdest thing about it is the PA, which the more I think about it and the more I say PA, I feel like she was a quack. She was a nice lady. But I mean, honestly, after talking to Freddie, because he's a doctor, it really just felt like she gave me kind of like the same thing she would give somebody else if she didn't know exactly what the problem was, right? um, but they kept saying I had some sort of viral infection. I actually, today was my first day back at work. My fever broke, just so y'all know, my fever finally broke the day before yesterday. When I woke up the day before yesterday on Sunday, that was the first day I actually felt better. Cuz I had that fever, right? From the 22nd of March all the way up until Saturday, which was what, the 1st? Where's the where's I'm not used to Windows 11. What the fuck? Oh, is this it? Ah, okay. Yeah, April 1st. Yeah. So I had from the 22nd all the way up through till April 1st. I had a fever. Um, it was a low grade fever apparently for the vast majority of the time. My fever really wasn't higher than 101. But even for a low grade fever, I felt like shit. My brother said that I probably got infected with something that I've never been infected with before, and it was new to my body, and that's why my buddy was having such a hard time dealing with it. We had to kind of go over the scary concept of possibly having some sort of immunodeficiency infection or virus. Because there's quite a few things. That's where we kind of go back to the hermetic meningitis, which is basically it does the same thing fucking AIDS does. It destroys your immune system, and it's a virus, right? um, but the thing is, nobody else in the house got sick. Nobody else in the house got infected, especially Casey. And bless her heart, Casey exposed herself in ways that nobody else would. And she never contracted anything from me. She's fine. She's not sick. Um, and no, I don't take vitamins, Richie. I should. I mean, we all should, right? But I don't. Zarati, it helped, right? It helped, but it didn't help for longer than just a couple of hours at a time. I had to continue taking stuff to the point where I was actually concerned that I was taking too much. But I felt like I didn't have a choice. I had to keep taking medicine to stave off the symptoms. I had to keep taking medicine to stave off the symptoms. I had to keep taking medicine to just be able to bear the ailment that I was dealing with. So I had to keep taking medicine, and but all it really did was just kind of help for the moment. It would only, get rid of the fever for maybe a couple hours at a time, hours out of the, at a time, and then it would come back. The fever would come back. A lot of the symptoms would return. I would realize that the medicine's wearing off when I just inexplicably would start getting cold. Like all of a sudden, the ceiling fan, like the ceiling fan right here, right now, just regular like that. It's not even going that crazy. You guys can see it's not a frame rate thing. The ceiling fan in here doesn't spin that fast. You guys know I complained about it being hot in here before, and that would be too cold. That little bit of airflow would be too cold, and I would realize it when I would start kind of curling my toes in my shoes because I'm getting cold. I start doing this, like I'd put my hands into my arms and press them against my sides, like I would start getting cold. and I would start hunching over too, just to stay warm. And when I realized I started doing that, the medicine was wearing off. And then I would ask Casey, I go, "Can you feel my head? Can you feel my chest? Can you feel my back under my shirt? Do I have a fever?" And she goes, "Yeah, it's coming back." Or, "Yeah, you have it. It's back." So I really wasn't getting anything that was helping. I ended up calling that PA back, and she ended up giving me, she ended up prescribing me some amoxicillin, which I didn't think was gonna help because it was supposed to be a virus. If it's viral, amoxicillin doesn't do shit. Amoxicillin is gonna get rid of bacteria. It's not gonna do anything against the virus. And um, but when I started taking the amoxicillin, it wasn't until after that the fever finally broke, because this past Saturday was the first day that I took the amoxicillin. Twice a day for 7 days, right? So I need to take another amoxicillin. I should have already taken the other amoxicillin, as a matter of fact. Um, but that's one of the biggest reasons why I haven't been able to get around to doing anything that I had planned, such as, working, getting back to work on streaming, trying to get my rig set up, trying to get my OBS set up over here because it's not set up right. Um, pulling old review materials and everything off of my old um, shit off my old computer, all that stuff. And I don't know, man. It's been a lot. Uh, and to answer your question, Hollow, I am better now compared to the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks that I was dealing. Because as of today, it's been 2 weeks on the dot that I got sick. And today's barely the second day I felt better. But it was on Sunday where I realized, like, okay, I think I'm feeling better. And then yesterday I was like, okay, like tomorrow when I start work, I'm not tripping. Like, I know I can do the job. Um, but yeah, I was bad. I was really, really bad. I was bad. I was scared. I'm not going to lie. I started getting worried. And I think the biggest part about it is because I get real apprehensive to going to the doctor, because if you go to the doctor, you have to really face that reality that there's something wrong. But that is what you're supposed to do. But then when I went to go seek medical help, it felt like it wasn't fucking doing anything for me, and that's really what started getting me worried. Um, so, yeah, I still got this cough. I was talking to a customer today, an older lady who is she's a nurse, and I told her basically about the whole deal, and she straight up said, and just the way she said it after I told her everything, it made me believe her, because the PA mentioned something along those lines too. And I wouldn't be surprised if I was older than that physician's assistant. Um, uh, but that nurse that I talked to on the phone, she goes, "It sounds like you had sepsis. Like it sounds like you had something septic in your body." She said, because if you have chills, and she says, because if you have chills and you have a fever and nobody else is catching it, then it's probably going to be sepsis, from what you're telling me. And maybe that's why the amoxicillin actually did work. The worst part about it is because Joshua has some leftover amoxicillin, and Casey gave me two amoxicillin the first couple days I was sick, and it didn't do shit. Maybe it was too soon. What's that? Amoxicillin? Penicillin.
You streaming?
Yes.
Cool.
Amoxicillin is penicillin, which is for bacteria, and and sepsis, which is the same, basically the same kind of thing. And that's another thing. I don't know how I would have gotten sepsis, and I told the customer that, right? Sepsis, sepsis means that there's like toxic, like in your blood from waste. Um, it's like one notch under necrosis, right? Where something's dead. Like, okay, you can get sepsis from swimming around in a fucking septic tank, right? In wastewater. Getting if you get piss and shit on a cut or something, you know. She told me that she said you could have had a bladder infection and not know it. And if you had a bladder infection and it doesn't filter out properly and it goes into your bloodstream, that would be sepsis. Um, and I know people that have had bladder infections. I think Casey had a bladder infection. Um, I think even one of the girls, I think Zelda had a bladder infection. It's supposed to be painful, at least enough to know something's wrong. Um, but I mean, it takes all types, right? And if that is the case, that's a possibility. I might have gotten sepsis that way, but it's all hearsay. I don't know for a fact because they wouldn't give me a workup, and I did go to a doctor on Sunday. No, yesterday. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday. But Casey had to be at work at 4, and they took fucking forever. And I was already. Oh, give me a water, please. Right there. Can you give me the water and stop playing? You play too much. You can stop.
I was asking if this is what it was.
Oh, I pointed at it even. Anyways, I went to the doctor because I forget that we kind of have a new doctor. Right. So I totally forgot about this lady. Well, we went yesterday. They were taking fucking forever, and I was feeling better, but I wanted to go make sure. I didn't want to take any chances because of how long I was sick for. So,
Went to the doctor?
We went, and when the nurse was kind of giving me the workup, when you first go in and they, get, like, what are your symptoms, what's your height, what's your weight, yada, yada. I was telling them the whole spiel because you guys know me, I talk a lot. And then I mentioned that the PA said that it was going to take 2 weeks for a blood test to come back. And she was, and because I was kind of the same way, but I don't know, I don't know, right? I'm not in medical, right? I don't know. But at the same time, I'm not a fucking idiot, and that didn't sound right. And when I told the nurse that at the doctor's office, she went like what? Like she made that look like, and I called her out. I was like, yeah, I know, right? I guess it wasn't just me. I thought that was weird too. So I wanted to get like a blood workup to see exactly what was going on. But I didn't get it done. And I had to come back to work. Or I had to come back home because Casey had to go to work. She should have took the whole damn day off. But whatever.
So you're not sick anymore?
I'm still sick.
A little?
But I'm extremely tired. You guys could probably tell. I'm super tired. I tell Casey I'm super fatigued. I've been making kind of the joke that if I get in a fight at the store, I probably got a good 3 swings in. Like, I got a good 3 swings in me before I'll probably just fucking collapse. Because I'm tired. I've been telling Casey this for the last couple of days. Just doing rudimentary things around the house has been extremely exhausting. And I'm not used to that. I don't like that. And it's clear that I'm still, I'm on the tail end of this thing, I imagine, because I am feeling better in comparison to what I was. But just trying to go about doing regular things, like trying to pick this thing up, the computer, I'm trying to get the riser on and all that shit. And then, not to mention, originally, right here, let me switch the camera. No. Okay. So let's actually get rid of this. So obviously, as you guys can tell, it had four legs, but it was in the way. It was in the way. It looked like crap. I felt like ultimately it was taking away from what I wanted it to be, right? So what I ended up doing was I went to Walmart, which was also a chore, and I got just some of this cord, like the portrait cord that you use to hang up frames, and I got some nuts and bolts, and I was gonna cut it off, but I don't know where my Dremel is, and I don't know where my bolt cutter is. Actually, I do know where it is now that I just remembered, so I'll actually clip that guy pretty soon. But I've had these hooks actually for a while, and as you can see, it took me a couple tries, but I got it hooked up here, so it's being suspended, and it's steel, so it shouldn't break. Although I am gonna put a couple of I want to put a couple more just to have it more reinforced, and then as a backup, it's not the most reliable, but it's better than nothing because I already know that there's a lot of weight on this to begin with. But at least if something happens, it's got a little bit of a backup here, to have the support. Because the last thing I want is for a $2,300 computer to come crashing down on the floor. Because the higher it is, more more potential energy, you guys, more potential energy. Um, but let me see. Just get rid of that. But yeah, essentially, that's about it. For the most part, you guys. Other than that, um, that's really that's what's been going on. That's what the deal's been. Like I said, I'm still even trying to get familiar with the computer. Today's really the first day I actually sat down to kind of mess with some of my gear, like my mic and my mixer. Um, so is the net back? No. Nah, Casey told me that the internet's not going to be back until 11:30, and it's barely 10 right now. So it is what it is. But rest assured, you guys have seen me sick before. I'll get over it, and we'll get back to it, man. I really want to.
You really want to scream again, huh?
The worst is over. The worst is over. But yeah, you guys, you guys know the drill. That's everything that's been going on. Um, that's everything that's up. Fucking Amogus, ching. um, but yeah, you guys. So at least you guys know what's going on now. I've been kind of waiting because I didn't want to stream without at least showing signs of I guess progress
So
of things right around the corner, right? So and then of course I did want to show a little bit of what I've been working on and what's been done and what's changed and how that's going to impact the channel and the streams and the community moving forward, which obviously a little bit of growing pains when you get a new rig, especially when you're jumping from an operating system from Windows 7, which I know I'm super late on. Apparently only 1.7% of users on Steam were using Windows 7. I guess I was one of them. So yeah, a long time coming. Anyways, I'm gonna take it easy, you guys. I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna go lay down. Well, I have Windows 11 now, cat boy. Look, I'm definitely with the times now. I'm in the future. Ryzen 9, 700, 7,500, 7,000, 7,000, 7,000, 7,000X.
I get it.
Anyways, you guys, I'm gonna sign off. So you guys know the drill.
What's that say? Much love.
He's right. Be cool. Stay safe. Much love. And hopefully, I'll see all of y'all on the next stream. Take care, you guys.